Sometimes the difference between being a top producing real estate agent and being a struggling real estate agent is very minor. It's really just a matter of doing the right things. So today I'm going to share with you the top things that I see top producing agents doing that struggling agents don't. All right, today I'm going to share with you one of the most common conversations that I have when I'm coaching agents that are maybe struggling a little bit. We talk about the differences in the things that the top producing and the agents that are really getting some results, especially in a challenging market, that is maybe different from what these struggling agents are doing. The difference is in the activities they're doing and the way that they're doing those activities. So I'm going to break this down. And listen, number 7, the last one I'm going to talk about is really the difference to all of this. So stick around. I'm going to share with that at the end because it will make all the difference. Now, the first thing that I see is that top producing agents really start and they begin each and every day by doing lead generation. It's without fail. It doesn't matter whether they're busy or whether they're not. They have it scheduled into their calendar that every single day they start by doing lead generation. Now, it's done a number of different ways. This could be, if you're struggling, by doing open houses. This could be by being in the place where the people are. Whatever it is, what I see is that top agents have that penciled in and pinned into their calendar where they make sure that they do this every single morning. Now, what does it look like? A couple of things. What we're seeing right now is a little bit of a shift. It used to be that it was making specific phone calls. A lot of it was circle prospecting. Maybe it was going back into the database and calling those folks. What we're seeing right now is on the lead generation side is almost priming of the pump each morning by doing DMs on social media to some of those folks that may be prospects, past clients, or someone that's in the sphere of influence. It's almost like we want to pick the low-hanging fruit and we want to start some momentum in each and every day on the lead generation side. So what does this look like? This is noticing something that has happened for someone on social media that is in your sphere of influence, that is in maybe a past client, or maybe that's someone that's one of your prospects, and noting those things. They specifically go in and DM them right at the start of the day. The second thing that we see them do is that they look at the hot sheet, they notice what has happened in the market, and who do they have in their database, or maybe that's a hot buyer, or someone that's heating up a little bit that might have an interest in that. They're going to email that. And a lot of times what we're doing is we're videoing our screen and going over the details of this. Not sure if you saw this. This just came on the market. Wanted to make sure you saw this and share with you a few specific details. Doing something a little different than just the automated system of follow-up. The other thing we're seeing is those that are past buyers that became now homeowners. We're seeing people going in on a daily basis and doing unsolicited video CMAs. They're starting their day by getting out information about what's happening in the market to specific people to start the lead generation process. Whatever it is for you, if you want to be a top producing agent, start your day without fail with lead generation. The second thing I see top producing agents doing is they build personal brand. Now, here's what happens with struggling agents. They're just reacting to what's happening instead of being proactive. What we see with these top producing agents is that they go out and they actually make things happen. They get consistent on showing up online. They get consistent with the communication they have with their database. They continue to understand that people are doing business not with companies, but with people, so they build their personal brand as a priority. So what is it that you're doing on a daily basis to expand your personal brand? Are you posting consistently? Are you posting the right things? Are you out there being active with your database so that you stay top of mind with that sphere of influence? What are you doing to stay in front of that group and make sure that your brand continues to be not just top of mind, but that it is absolutely something that they can't wait to find someone that they can send someone your way with? You see, when you build personal brand and you focus in on making sure that you're not just doing the business, but you're building a brand that builds your business, all of a sudden things begin to happen. The third thing I see is that they prioritize reviews and referrals. In other words, they understand that the best lead magnet you can have is a happy client that you've actually helped buy or sell a home. So what they do is they're consistently asking for those reviews. They try to do them creatively. They like to do them with video, or they like to make sure that they're on their Google business profile where they're consistently adding these reviews that keeps them at the top of search on Google. Not only are they gathering these reviews, and that leads to the opportunity for more referrals, but they're also marketing those reviews. They're sharing that with their online community. They're telling the story of what they did, and they're making the process that they utilize and also the people that they helped as the hero instead of themselves. It's not just another one sold. It's actually the story of how they were able to overcome the obstacles that stood in front of that buyer to help them get that dream home. It's overcoming and understanding and telling the story about that person who got maybe a new job, and they had to move, and they needed to do it in a certain time frame. And what were the challenges that they had, and how were they able to overcome those by the process that this agent had in place? You see, when we're seeing what the top agents do, they understand that the best business is referral business, and they understand that the best way to receive that referral business is to build trust. Reviews build trust. And what we're doing now is we're seeing that by concentrating on those reviews and those referrals, business absolutely grows on its own and at a consistent basis. The fourth thing that we're seeing that all top agents do is they invest in coaching, training, and they're involved in masterminds. What top agents realize is that no one, especially in real estate, grows in isolation. It happens in community. So they're making sure that they're surrounding themselves in masterminds. Listen, if you haven't been part of many masterminds, I do one every single Friday. It's open to anybody from any brand. It's available. I bring in some of the best speakers. Make sure you're plugging into a mastermind where it's expanding your ideas. What this does, especially with a national mastermind, is it gives you the ability to grab ideas from people that are doing things in other markets across the country that's working, not only in their business, but it can absolutely work in your business. The other thing is that they're investing in training. They're understanding that the market is changing, so they're leaning in to all the training that they can find on artificial intelligence, how they can serve their clients better. And then basically what we're seeing is they don't just stop there. They have some accountability. They have coaching that they're employing. In my career, the times when I have seen the most growth in my business was because I was directly related to a coach that was there for a reason or a season that gave me new information on how to do my business better. You see, when you're in the position that you're wanting your business to grow and you're wondering what is it that top agents do, they prioritize and invest in coaching, training, and also in those masterminds. They spend the time, they spend the money, and they see the results. The next difference I see in top agents is that they treat their CRM like a gold mine. So see, here's what used to happen. When the gold miners went out west, is they would try to find these gold mines where there was proof that something there had been some gold there. You have to understand that when you have a CRM or a database that has a group of people that have done business with you in the past or that have raised their hand and they've been leads that have come into your database by showing up at an open house or someone that was referred to you or someone that was a lead that was bought online, whatever it is, those leads in your database, that is a gold mine. And in reality, that means that you just need to go out there and you need to mine for the gold that is in that database. Some of the statistics we've seen, I believe Tom Ferry said that basically 8% of every database rolls over every year. So if you've got a group of 500 people in your database, odds are around 40 of those are going to do business this next year. It's not a matter of if they're going to do business, it's are they going to do business with you. And what we see with top producers is they prioritize the communication and the way that they're building their brand we talked about earlier with that database. Now, this is not just doing check-in calls. What this is giving them some value. Now, what is it that they want? They want to know about information about properties that are like the one that they own or about the property they're considering buying in the future. So this is setting up a systematic plan where your CRM emails out properties that come on the market or have price reductions that fit the criteria for that particular buyer or seller. Also, what is it that you can do? I will say this, a lot of the old ways of doing things like sending a monthly newsletter are old now. They aren't working as well as they used to. What we're seeing is the communication that we're seeing that's consistent to the database that really works right now is giving them what they want. This is the deal of the week strategy. You've heard me talk about this before. Sharon Srivastava started this, and it's basically where we're letting people know about the best buy that we see on the market. It could be your listing or someone else's that we see in our local area for that week. Going through and doing different price points, different types of properties, investment properties, second homes, primary residences, whatever it is, rotate that on a weekly basis, sending out to your entire database. And what we see is those top producers are having people in their database that maybe they haven't even talked to in a little while, raising their hand and say, I'd like more information on that property. What you see is you see the ones that are doing the best and that have the businesses that are growing is they're building it through their database. They're growing their database, but they're communicating in a way and understanding that it's an absolute gold mine. The sixth thing I see is that they focus in on listings and not just buyers. You see, when you're focusing in, and I've said this before, if your majority of your business is coming through buyers, you're a real estate salesperson. But if you're focused in and the majority of your business is coming through listings, you're running a real estate business because now you can control your time. A lot of times what's happening is that struggling agents just want to feel like they're doing something. So they tend to spend a lot of time with buyers, showing them dozens and dozens of properties, and they spend a lot of time trying to find that. And when they break it down to an hourly expense or an hourly wage that they've received by working with those folks, all of a sudden they realize, wow, this was really not the best use of my time. So what we see is we see a different shift in focus. In other words, instead of focusing in on going out and finding people that are unqualified to buy, we're focusing on unsolicited video CMAs to homeowners. Instead of going out and buying leads, we're going out and we're focusing in on doing geographical farming, which is targeted towards and becoming the expert in a local neighborhood so that we can generate those listings. You see, the top producers understand that when you control the listings, you control the market, you control your time as well, and you control your business. The seventh is the thing that I see that most top producing agents do differently from those that struggle in real estate is that they build momentum in the slow seasons. Look, there's a season for every single market. Maybe it's your summer market that's busier or slower. Maybe it's the winter time if you're in the Northeast or you're up north and there's too much snow on the ground. Whatever it is that's your slower season, what we see that these top producing agents do is they stay consistent. And in reality, what they do is they build momentum during the times when other people tend to fade away. So what happens is that they are actually building momentum into the seasons when there's busyness by doing the things that other people aren't doing when it's a slower season. You see, when you focus in, you stay consistent, and you continue to give value when everybody else basically vanishes from the market, that's when you're truly making up market share and you're setting the stage for the next season to be your best ever. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.